I'm tired of it. Yeah, people may call me crazy. I'm tired of immigrants.
They asked Trump at the press conference yesterday.
And vice versa. Yeah.
They're like, sir, we've seen a big uptick in domestic violence. He goes, Mexican violence?
Did he say that?
Yeah. They go, no, domestic violence. He's like, oh.
How disappointing.
He was really hoping
case, you really got me excited there for a sec.
I read
sure
that
it's not Mexican domestic.
I read that people were scared that domestic violence victims would be trapped in their homes with their abusers. And my knee-jerk reaction was like, oh my God, you people will find anything to complain about. Like, is this really a big widespread problem? Maybe I was wrong.
Is it really? Like, how would they know? Like, how could anybody know, like, 2 weeks into a U.S. quarantine where they're like, everybody's getting wives all over the country getting fucking, lit up with fists and elbows every night. Like, how could you possibly know? Is there an influx of
police
calls?
reports? Yes.
Police reports? Is there actually? I don't know.
Yes, that was the news story. Yeah.
So it is happening.
There you go.
Okay, when I read about it, they were worried it would happen. It sounds like
theorized. She was asking about, hey, there's been a big uptick in domestic violence. No, it is happening. Woody saw it a week ago when it was theorized, and then I saw it yesterday when they were talking about the uptick in domestic violence across the country and what Trump thinks about that. And to his credit, he had a really good answer, right? He didn't focus on the single issue. He expanded and expounded. He said, hey, you're going to see all sorts of problems with people. You're going to see problems with drug addiction, suicide, mental health. These are problems that have plagued us for a long time, and this is only going to exacerbate these issues. That's why we've got to take this virus on head on. And it was just like, shit, that was a good fucking answer.
That is a good answer. No, I thought it was going to be a goof. Like, to his credit, he expanded. Hey, my ratings are great. Everybody's watching.
You know what else is on the uptick? Trump. I have a PowerPoint presentation here.
I wonder how this is going to play out. I'm of two minds, right? I can imagine a scenario where we get on the other side of this before November and Trump looks like a hero for curing the coronavirus somehow, right? He will definitely say he did and that he led the nation and we won a war against an invisible enemy and things like that. Cool. You can also play sound bites of him again and again saying there's 15 cases like magic, it will drop to 0. Playing over caskets of 100,000 dead bodies.
You can only play those sound bites if you want a little lawsuit on your hands. So good luck with that, my friend.
Why is there a lawsuit involved in
because Trump's making that happen. He doesn't care for it when you play those sound bites.
But it would be
yeah, well, that doesn't matter. People will
you're
run
damaging
them anyway.
national security. We're not going to have that.
And you know,
I would be wary of playing those clips on this show.
On this show.
I mean, we know the NSA hard scoping PKA. You know?
I can see like the Democratic messaging around some of his early lines where he failed to recognize the severity of this coronavirus issue for the first month or whatever it was, first 3 weeks. And it just depends on whether, I don't know which side of it will get traction.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could go either way. I agree with you 100%. I still think that Bernie has a very narrow path, as he puts it, to victory here. I think that Biden is so frail and fragile. No, I think that he's done. If things, yes, Bernie. I think that Biden could die before fucking November, dude.
Yeah, I think everybody's on that team.
Yeah, actually,
I think everybody's on that team too, and I think that Biden is in that top 1.1%,
especially with the coronavirus going around, guys.
The only
not only is he old, he looks frail, extra weak and frail.
The only reason I haven't paid Kyle his $100 where he said it was going to be Bernie or Biden is I am holding out hope that when Biden dies, surely in the next couple of months that's going to happen, that someone other than those two. Now the bet was who would be announced at the national convention, right? That was the bet. And I believe it's possible that if for some reason Biden doesn't get it, even though it seems like he's going to earn it, if Biden doesn't get it, maybe he dies, that they'll pick someone else. Maybe Cuomo, maybe probably Buttigieg, right? He's the one everybody wants.
Can you do that?
Saying.
Like, wouldn't that just kind of like take their entire primary process and be like, no, we're not going with the second runner-up. We're just going to pick a new guy.
That's exactly how
the
it
answer
works.
is you can do that legally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They could pick Woody. They could pick Woody.
It would be a bad move.
What an unfair system.
It's not meant to be fair. It's a party system. This is not a government body. This is not a governmental body of any kind.
That's
This
fair.
is a private organization. This is no different than the fucking Moose Club or the fucking Masons.
Kyle's
They do better go with the
100%
second
right,
place guy.
but it doesn't feel right. It does feel like the Democratic Party is supposed to be a government organization.
Oh, it's
doesn't it?
wrong that it exists that way, but I'm right that it does exist that way.
Agreed and agreed.
Most
Yeah.
people are going to be pissed if it's like, all right, number one guy dies, number two guy's Bernie, and then they just swoop in and it's like, nope, we're going with this fucker over here. Like,
I can't name
what better way to alienate Bernie voters?
I can't name the specifics, but it's absolutely happened before where like there was a front runner going into the convention and there was a lot of backroom handshaking and fucking blackmail and yeah, like it's a key plot point in Boardwalk Empire where like I think it was Hardin. I think Hardin there was the Hardin candidacy or something like that where like Nucky Thompson's backroom dirty politician friends were like, "Oh, you think that guy's going to be president?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's leading all the polls. He's going into the convention riding high." Like, no. Meet Billy here. We're making him president. And it's just like, shit, they are making him president. And they just do. The votes keep coming in. They go, you know, they do the votes over and over, like when they're looking for a new pope. Right. And finally the fucking black smoke comes out the chimney and it's somebody you didn't even think it was going to be.
Yeah, that is how it works. They've tried to make it less like that. You know, they removed super delegates, for example, so that one guy doesn't start with a giant lead. And they're practically compelled if the guy gets, is it 60%? I forget what the number is, but if you get enough delegates, if it's a narrow win, then they decide in a back room. If it's a widespread win, then they don't. But we'll see. I think there is a chance, there is a path where people are just like, all right. I know the voters chose Biden, but seriously, you know, he's a flashlight with dim batteries headed into the woods.
If he continues to embarrass himself and they realize the emperor's lights are a little dim, I think that could happen. Like if he truly embarrasses himself, like if he like had a fit. Like what
if, for example, he challenged a union worker to a fist fight and a fat dude to a push-up contest?
No. I'm talking about a humiliation. I'm talking about true humiliation. Like, and for it to happen,
like he poops his pants in the middle of the debate.
No, it's got to be worse than pooping his pants. Like first of all, it can't be some sort of telecast thing because they'll cut away. They'll cut away right away. It has to be all the cameras are there, and there are cell phone cameras.
Taking a picture with a Girl Scout troop with his dick out.
like that might do it. He has to literally forget what year it is, or like who his opponent is. He has to start thinking that he's the current vice president or something like that.
He did something like that already. He was like, when I was with Barack in 2000.
No. That's him misspeaking a little. He has to lose it and then break down and like cry. Like you have to see, like,
or if his teeth fall out all the way.
People run with the misspeaking thing, I think, a little too much, right? You know, like I'm sure I've said PKN when it's PKA on the show, and that's just a misspeak, right?
Well, I don't want you to be president either.
No.
But
I would vote for any of the three.
Listen up. I'm going to be replacing you as the new host.
Checkmate.
We voted. We made the votes.
If they
I
run,
look way better than you. I'm funnier than you, and yeah.
All these things are true. But if they would have run with it and be like, Woody doesn't even know what night it is. He doesn't know what show he's doing. He doesn't know where he is. He's confused. He's old. It's like, no, you really made a lot out of swapping those letters. You know,
I mean, I already started with the intro this episode. Right?
That's true.
It's in the works,
you've got
boys.
a knack for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know numbers and letters. It can't be argued with.
There we go.
He can order them both.
He speaks at least one language fluently, which is more than any of us can say.
That's true. Yeah, that Biden, I don't think that he's like a genuinely insane person, but his level of misspeaking is leaps and bounds more than mistaking PKA.
Who thinks he raped that lady?
I have no idea. I mean, he doesn't help his case with all the weird little like hair sniffing of young girls. That's gotta stop.
He raped one lady. One lady? Yeah, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Finger banged this lady against a wall.
Is this your first?
Sponsors don't like this, guys.
Kyle, when you're vice president, they let you do it.
They'll let you do it. Yeah, I don't know. I think he might have raped that lady. I think he might have. And I look, I've never sniffed a child.
Missing
Never.
out.
Yeah,
Not once. I don't know what a
smell
child
like baby
smells
powder
like.
if you get them fresh enough.
They must smell like fucking cotton candy to Joe Biden does. Is all I'm saying. Like he goes after a child's nape the same way a dog goes after another dog's asshole.
Isn't there a True Blood thing where they love smelling them?
Okay,
Am I
what did
crazy?
he do?
Well,
How did he
Sookie smells delicious because she's a fairy. So that's you're kind of on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Queb, to answer your thing, you were saying, what did he do? Because you're not American, you don't know. There's if you just go into YouTube and type in Joe Biden creep or something, there are long compilations of him like standing behind like a fellow, like a donor's wife and like young 7-year-old daughter, and he'll like walk up behind the girl and like massage way too closely and like get down by their ear and like whisper and like sniff the top of their head and like reach around in hugs that are way too touchy-feely. And then so many photos of him like grabbing around like girls and like public photographs, and the young girl's face is doing that like, I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah. Oh my
he's
God.
kind of the vice president.
So that's one thing I don't like. The other part of it I don't like is he pretty much cucks these men, right? Like he just walks up, he grabs their wife's waist, puts his hand around his wife, maybe smells her hair, smells his kid's hair, and as the dad, I'm like, would I wrestle the vice president in this situation? I like to think I would. I like to think I'd go straight for a double leg takedown and say, no one touches my daughter. But no one does. All of them just sit there and say, oh, yeah, sorry, baby, he's kind of a hair sniffer.
This is the Democrats for the last 4 years have been throwing a shit fit 24/7. We got to get Trump out. We got to get him out. And it's like, this is the guy. This is the guy that you show up with. Kissing your own granddaughter on the lips on TV.
It must never happen, because I am positive he started sniffing some daughter's hair and the dad was like, no, hands off. That would be on the internet. That would be on Creepy Joe. That guy would be famous. And he'd be
I've seen a father pull the daughter away.
Subtly, gently, and with class. No. I need to do them Woody style, where they want to fight on an airplane. I want some guy to say like, fuck no, stand his ground right there.
I mean, if you look at this image right here, he's going.
There's tongue in that second photo.
Who's what's his name?
Is that his daughter?
That's his granddaughter. He's kissing her right on the mouth like he's Tom Brady. This man doesn't have a single championship. He can't kiss children on the mouth.
Yeah, grandchildren are fertile ground for hookups.
Or is he going for the cheek and did they pause it?
Not only is that on the mouth, I've got a completely separate image of him kissing his granddaughter on the mouth.
With a different granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a creep.
Joe Biden's granddaughter, super hot.
Yeah, first of all, you're not giving Joe Biden enough credit for the chicks he's pulling, right?
I'll see you on Thanksgiving again, sweetheart.
Guys, it's not normal to do that outside of America, okay? Let me just,
it's not
just
normal
so you guys
here.
know.
Yeah,
let him smell this woman's hair or whisper into her ear or something, and it's bad. And I'm like the blue team defender on here, and this behavior is just not okay. Although kissing your granddaughter is.
Of all Trump's nicknames, Creepy Joe is gonna stick the most because it really does resonate, I think.
It's hard to rank them. There's a couple that really stick.
There's a couple really funny ones.
I wish he had one about Graham that was gayer. Light loafers Lindsey or something.
Oh no, he wouldn't do that. They're on the same team these days.
But he
Lindsey Graham was eloquent the other day.
Lindsey loafers is funny. I like that.
Lindsey lighting the loafers Graham was eloquent on the floor of the whatever, the Senate of the House, whatever the fuck he is. He was talking about people arguing for more pork in the stimulus bill, and he didn't have any notes. That man can speak. He's a fucking orator. I gotta say, I don't care for that guy. I don't like his politics per se, but god damn, I watched him for a solid 20 fucking minutes or something like that. He didn't stutter. He was talking about big things. He was going over the stimulus bill down to like the teens of billions that were being spent. And he's like, and the most important 18 billion, maybe the most important 18 billion that we'll ever spend is going to this and that. And he was explaining that it's going to pay these drug companies to push ahead with experimental drugs even if they're before the testing phase, like essentially the deal is like before they prove the drug works, he wants them to get the wheels rolling on production. And if it doesn't work out, they're going to pay them anyway. That way that way they don't have to. It gives them an extra step, and the government's ensuring
that in parallel. Step. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the government's ensuring that step that may not work out. It's like, hey, we might have a thing that works. We don't know. Normally, we keep production very small. We'd make 100 doses and test them for 3 months. And they're like, no. Let's get ready to make 10 million doses. And if it doesn't work out, we'll still pay you. And if it does work out, then we're 3 months ahead.
I generally don't like Lindsey Graham, but I do like it when politicians prove expertise in the details. Yeah. You know, like it's an area where Trump kind of falls flat. You know, he just goes with his hunches and his gut and navigates that way. It's an area where Bill Clinton, you guys were young in the 90s, but where Bill Clinton was really strong. He was always like deep in the weeds. Is that right? I may be messing my metaphors up, but he was always way in the details on his stuff and knew exactly what was happening. He was unstumpable on whatever the current issues were and what the
how much longer is this press conference going to take? I got like 3 hours left on this man.
Arguments and counter arguments. So yeah, that's cool about Lindsey Graham.
I thought like everybody made fun of Reagan for being dumb, but I every time I go back and listen to him speak, god damn.
Well, I mean, he had dementia and Alzheimer's in the end, right?
In the end, yes. And sure,
that's what they're
that was our first female. Nancy Reagan was our first female president. She was running the show for like a year and a half easily.
Nancy, you think?
There may be another circumstance of a president going down and his wife was stepping in. I don't recall.
I would guess HW was in charge, right?
That would be my guess, but I know not. I'm just guessing.
No, everything was going through Nancy.
Oh yeah, huh.
Yeah.
Is she dead or not? Is she not?
Yeah,
dead?
she died recently. Dead. I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching a bunch of Reagan shit the other day, like all his one-liners and his jokes. They're fucking hilarious. And they opened his working desk, right? The desk that he was using when he passed away. And there's a there's a cardboard box full of 3x5 cards, front and back, jokes. It's jokes. He's got jokes for days. I'm trying to remember one of them.
He was too old when he was running for re-election in the debate. Do you remember that one?
I will not use my... They're like, Mr. Reagan, at 72 years old, you will be the oldest person to ever run for president. I'm not going to take advantage of my opponent's inexperience and young age, so I will not cover that topic.
His opponent was like 65.
Yeah, his opponent looks way older than he is, but he is only like...
He had gray hair.
Dukakis or whoever it was. He's 65 over there.
Yep. I don't know.
It probably wasn't. He had one, and he was talking about how in the Soviet Union, if you want a car, you've got to put down a deposit on this thing 10 years in advance because the cars go to the government. They go to very special people. So if you're a regular civilian, you want a car 10 years in advance. And he said, so this fella saved up his money and he went down to the car store and he gave them the deposit. And they said, all right. Come back in 10 years and we'll have your car ready for you. And he said, morning or afternoon? and they said, sir, 10 years from now, what difference does it make? He said, well, the plumber's coming in the morning.
What the fuck does he sound like? Well, he's Reagan a little more. Damn it, I need to figure
That's pretty close. That's pretty close. No, that's fading into Nixon.
Yeah, the Futurama Nixon.
This is my Reagan accent.
This is my Reagan accent. It's very soothing and like God, the guy was a fucking cowboy, right? He's an actor, so like he's delivering these campaign speeches like he's playing Julius Caesar or something like that. You can't
having a blast. Yeah,
he's incredible at it. He's so good. You know, say what you want about Reaganomics and trickle down, but
we're still trying it. We'll get it.
Dude, name just one 30-year stretch that it hasn't worked at all.
I bankrupted the Soviets. That's all that matters. God damn it.
Hooray.
You dirty red. He had one about, he said he was driving along and...
Huskies.
That was not even that funny. It was the three-legged chicken speeds past. He's driving 50 miles an hour and a three-legged chicken speeds past him, outrunning his car. He can't believe it. He follows the thing into a barnyard and he pulls over and there's a farmer there and he says, did you just see a 3-legged chicken run through here? And the farmer says, yeah, I breed them that way. I said, yeah. I like drumsticks, and the wife liked drumsticks, and Junior, he likes them too. So I figured I'd breed a chicken that 3 legs, 3 drumsticks. He said, how do they taste? I said, well, I don't know. I haven't caught one yet. He just had oodles of these, just these little funny little one-liners, you know.
He was they called him the great communicator.
Yeah, funny guy.